Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to Gills in the Blunt TV. It is time for our first Monday review of 2021, and unfortunately, it's not a very positive one. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's Burton arrived in Kent on Saturday on the back of no away wins, no clean sheets all season. They beat us 1-0. Gills were very poor again, unfortunately. Starting to concern me a little bit, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. But yeah, it was just back, unfortunately, to the days of Adrian Pennant and Steve Lovell, where we used to struggle badly against those sides that were struggling down the bottom. And I know we coined a phrase on the channel, generous Gillingham, and it certainly seems to have gone back that way on Saturday, and the couple of fixtures preceding that, Northampton and Plymouth as well, which is really sad. It was flat, it was lethargic, there's no cohesion again, it's predictable. We only started playing when we were losing 1-0 and time was running out, and then we suddenly became urgent and more intense and created chances. Don't get me wrong, we probably should have nicked at least a point. John Akindi's had 2 really good chances. Connor Ogilvy's had a really good chance. But if you don't stick the ball in the back of the net, you don't earn any points. And worrying times at the moment. But instead of just listening to me, I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Glenn, friend of the channel, who does come on when we are in stadiums. You can find him on Twitter at 80shog or at Gloves Ron, in tribute to our former goalkeeping great Ron Hilliard. And here are his thoughts on not only the weekend, but also Gills in general, because unfortunately he couldn't come on the season review so far video last weekend. So I will leave you with the thoughts of Glenn for a few minutes.
Hello Gills fans, hope everyone is safe and well in these very bizarre times. And I've been asked to share my thoughts on Saturday's game and also give you a little bit of opinion on how it's been going this season. I think Saturday epitomised where we have been all along, and that is a consistently inconsistent side. I think I mentioned this last season. This is strange times for every football club, and Gillingham especially. We have injuries to major players. We have a starting 11 that doesn't seem to pick itself. We seem to have many issues in front of goal at the moment, which aren't helping us. We're creating many chances. We're not taking these chances. And also, bizarrely for me, is that we're playing games in which we're gaining between 35 and 40% possession and expected to win matches. Saturday was a little bit different for me. We had plenty of possession, but only after a very slow, poor start. And it seems that is pretty much as red for the Gills at the moment. We seem to concede and we start slowly. Now I can't believe that's what the management want, and I can't believe that's what they're going to be happy with. It's certainly not a way that we're going to be gaining many points this season. Again, you know, you've got Burton coming down to us, probably low on morale. This was a real chance to get at them early, but we didn't really seem to do that. We had a couple of spells in the first half of which we didn't really trouble their goalkeeper. As for the goal, bit of a sucker punch for me, just a simple ball into the middle of the box that was converted. I mean, it could have easily been 2-0, but I really don't know what the problem is. I've got no magic potion to give anybody. It just seems that we're goal shy at the moment. Jordan Graham coming back was good to see, and he created many chances for us. I just don't know what the problem is. Is it the fact that we have the alleged best finisher at the club not even in the reckoning these days? What's going on there? Why is Coyle not even in the squad? Really, I just don't understand why, if he's such a great finisher, why he's not playing in a team that at the moment can't finish. I can't put my finger on it. I really can't. I don't know what the problem is. We lost Eccles. Coventry recalled him. Again, unsettling the team. The bench is full of people who are not really fit. And let's face it, that our squad is not big enough. And do we really have the depth in quality to have an injury to Samuel? We have no replacement of that quality. So all in all, I think that we really need to ride this out. It's strange times for every football club, but I just feel that we are lacking quality in certain areas, and this showed on Saturday. down the right hand side in the second half in particular, there was plenty of space. I'm not sure some of the options that were taken weren't correct, but again, it's easy for me to say sitting here on a Monday morning, having watched the game, and I did have a little look at it again over the weekend. But I do feel that we need to get some quality, because it appears that Samuel may not even be back for us before the end of the season. And for all respect, I don't think John Akinde is a great finisher, and I think we've seen examples of that. As for not scoring against Burton, I think the team that hadn't kept a clean sheet in 35, I think that tells us absolutely everything we need to know. They weren't interested in looking for the second goal, in my humble opinion, although they nearly did get lucky, and it was the width of a post that saved us. The performances are a bit hit and miss. We don't know what our starting 11 will be from week to week. It's strange times, and I don't really think we should be pushing the panic button right now, although this is relegation form, and let's be quite honest with you, we continue in this way, we will be in a relegation fight. But I think we will finish mid-table quite comfortably, just need some consistency.
A couple of really key points that stand out there: consistently inconsistent. I think that sums us up to a T this term, doesn't it? We go, first 5 games of the season, we picked up 10 points, then we didn't score for 5, then we went and won 4 out of 5 and picked up 13 points, and then we've struggled for 6 now. So it'd be interesting how the next 4 go. Fingers crossed we can pick up, but it's not fun to watch at the moment. I think Glenn's alluded to that in terms of the football that we play. I've certainly mentioned it on previous videos. As Glenn said, we can't turn up and just play for periods of games. We've got to be doing it all the time. And like Glenn alludes to, I'm sure the management and also the players are not happy with the fact that we're not getting going until it's too late at the moment. And it is costing us a big time. And looking back at the last 3 games that we've lost, Northampton Town, Plymouth Argyle and Burton Albion, they've been in no kind of form coming into the fixtures against us. And sadly, it was a really good opportunity for us to put pressure on the top 6. But now there's talk of having to look the other way and over our shoulder, which we've not had to do for the entirety of Steve Evans' reign up until now. And something just doesn't seem right. I think for the 270 minutes over them 3 fixtures, we've probably been really good for about 80 of them. That was probably, we got 10 minutes against Northampton. That's how poor it was. A half against Plymouth, and then about 35 minutes at the weekend. And yeah, we can keep saying that we're creating chances, and if we put the ball in the back of the net, we'll win more football matches, but you've got to start doing it. It's one thing saying it and one thing actually carrying it out. At the moment, we're not carrying it out, and that's why we're struggling. That's why we've lost 5 of our last 6. And that's why it's not enjoyable. I think if you follow our Instagram account, there's a small clip from the Matchday Live vlog that I did, and I said it doesn't seem like a Steve Evans team at the moment. Everything that you get in terms of work rate and willingness to run through brick walls and to play for the badge and play for the shirt and play for each other, it just doesn't seem to be there for one reason or another. And similarly to Glenn, I can't really put my finger on why. Does Steve Evans know his best 11? I'm not sure he does, unfortunately, which is a little bit concerning considering we're now in the middle of January. Certainly doesn't seem to know his best centre-back pairing. We've already mentioned this on previous videos. We've had dozens, it seems, of centre-back pairings. We've had 3 left-backs. The only constants in this back 4 or 5, including the keeper throughout the season, have been Jack Bonham and Ryan Jackson. I think Ryan Jackson's gone backwards the last few weeks, unfortunately. I'm a big fan of his, but his performances have not been great over the last month. I think Reese, who was on the video last week, has put something down on Twitter, and he's made a good point. He says the likes of Jack Bonham, Connor Ogilvie, Jack Tucker that we relied on last season, that put in performance after performance, which made us so hard to beat and led to plenty clean sheets and big unbeaten runs. They've not been quite at it for one reason or another, and that's hindering us as well. The lack of experience I've already mentioned. It's the one thing I think Steve Evans got badly wrong in the summer, and that was not bringing in an experienced centre-half to help the likes of Jack Tucker, Christian Magoma, Zech Medley, Declan Drysdale, Robbie McKenzie, whoever plays there. They're all kids. They're all learning their trade still at this level. And I think the longer the season's gone on, the more clear it's become that we are struggling in that department. Key injuries to key players have not helped. The likes of Carl Dempsey, Stuart O'Keefe, Jacob Mellis have all missed long periods. Dominic Samuel now looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So we've only got 2 out-and-out strikers at the moment. That's John Akinde and Verdane Oliver, who are pretty much a clone of each other in a sense. So we need more variety. And again, Glenn made a good point. What's happened to Trey Coyle? This only seems to be a few weeks ago against Swindon that he was labelled the most natural finisher at the football club. Now he's not even in the 18. Zach Medley, his Arsenal teammate as well, not been seen for a while. No, he picked up an injury against Wimbledon start of December, but I believe he's been fit for a while now, but he doesn't seem to be involved. So is that the end of them two in terms of potentially us sending them back to Arsenal and looking at alternatives? It's a real shame because I think Trey Coyle's got loads of ability. He played a big part in that early season form when we won 3 of our first 5. Certainly knows where the back of the net is and how to put the ball in it as well. And yeah, I think it's a concerning time at the moment. The form's not great. The form's relegation form, like Glenn mentioned. It's 5 defeats in 6. That doesn't get you anywhere apart from below that dreaded line and in the relegation zone. But I'm still confident that we'll get it turned around, and I still think we'll finish relatively comfortable. But as it's been mentioned on social media, and I am running a poll at the moment, I'm going to have a little chat about this man. Steve Evans, he's still our manager? Is he still the right man to lead us though? Plenty of people didn't want him when he was appointed, and that's fine. People have got their opinions on Steve Evans, the man, rather than the football manager. People have got their opinions on Steve Evans, the football manager, not the man. And some fans decided they didn't want to come and watch us all the while he was in charge, and that's their prerogative. Got no issue with that. For me, I've always said I wanted him to make us better. I wanted him to make us harder to beat. I wanted him to make us win more football matches, and generally he's done that. This is the first time during his reign where I've been a bit concerned and sort of had question marks over what he's doing and how he's going about it. We know it's a strange time in terms of no fans, and again, Reece Hurd made a good point on social media saying that us against them mentality is difficult to garner at the moment because we've got no supporters in the ground cheering us on. And you know, maybe we would have sucked one into the Rainham end on Saturday if we'd been in there, but we're not, and we're having to adapt to playing in front of empty stadiums, and so is every other club up and down the land. So that can't really be used as an excuse. I am currently running a poll on social media, on Twitter, to see what the general fan opinion is regarding Steve Evans. Is he still the right man for the job? Should we get rid? For me, I think he's still the correct manager. He's the best person to lead us forward. He's going to get things wrong in terms of the transfer market. You're always taking a chance when you're bringing in kids on loan. It's their first experience of men's football, playing regularly with 3 points at stake, and you're not going to get all of them right. And I think generally his transfer policy's been all right. Last season, the ones that didn't work out, he got rid of in January, and we improved with the likes of Jordan Roberts and Jordan Graham. But you only have to look at the likes of Ollie Lee, Tommy O'Connor, Alfie Jones last season were really good. Mika Mandron done all right. Just trying to think who else he signed. There's been others, obviously, where things have not worked out in terms of injuries. Matty Willock, that type of thing. Michael and Jolly didn't last too long. Stuart O'Keefe was really good last season, another big success. This season, I think generally there's been some that have been better than others. That's the way of the world. I think Dane Oliver's proved to be a really good signing. Jordan Graham looks too good for this division at times, and Dominic Samuel's proven at this level. Unfortunately, he's picked up an injury, and Steve Evans can't legislate for that. In terms of the way we're playing the game, I don't like it at the moment. It's not fun to watch. You only have to look at periods of games against the like of Bristol Rovers, Crawley going back early on in the season, Arsenal win the EFL trophy, Rochdale away. We can get the ball down. We have the players to do it, and we can play good stuff, and we can score good goals. Wimbledon at home, we scored 2 really good goals as well by getting it on the deck. But at the moment, I just think because the confidence is so low, there's a tendency to go back to front very early, because we may be thinking subconsciously that we're getting the ball away from our own net, and then obviously opposition can't score. But the trouble is, if it doesn't stick up top, then it comes back really quickly, and then you are defending more than you're trying to attack. And they say the best form of defence is attack, but you have to have the ball to be able to do that. So I think Steve Evans has got to find ways to make the way we play and enable us to keep the ball better, because we can't go on. And I'm not a big fan of possession stats. I don't think they're that important, but obviously Doncaster was the one that stood out like a sore thumb. You can't expect to get anything from a game having 18-20% of the ball. But to sum up, for me, I do still think he's the best man for the job. I'd still give him this January transfer window, and I'd give him till the end of the campaign. I mean, if we slide off the edge of a cliff in terms of form and end up battling relegation, then we'll look at it, of course. But I'm not a big fan of changing the manager mid-season when we're not really in any danger, are we? I think we're, 6 points off the playoffs, 6 or 7 off the relegation zone. So we're where we usually are, and that's mid-table in League One. And that's not to say that I don't want us to push on and get in the top half, the top 8, the top 6 or whatever. But I've had to sort of change my views on where I think we finish. I think we're far too inconsistent at the moment to put a long run like we did last season together. And for that reason, like I mentioned on the season review so far, I think we'll probably finish around sort of 10th to 14th, which is absolutely fine considering the season we've had to put up with. And a lot of fans have said that the main thing is surviving this term while we've got no money coming into the football club. But let us know your thoughts. Are you in the Steve Evans in or the Steve Evans out camp? Were you ever a fan of Steve Evans? Have you been won round by Steve Evans after his appointment due to last season and the early part of this campaign? As always, you know where we are. You can comment on Facebook, Twitter, comment down below on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and get involved. You can send us a message. Right, that's enough from me today. Thanks as always to Glenn for coming on and sharing his thoughts and his views. It's really appreciated, and it just breaks up the video and you don't have to listen to me all the time. Please keep liking, following, subscribing, retweeting and all that. And until next time, up the Jules.